YouTube is slow today. All righty, everybody wave hello to our YouTube audience. Good morning. All righty, we're going to turn on recording. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. We're so happy that you came on this snowy and windy day. So let's kick it off. I'm going to go ahead and do our presentation today. We're short on team members, so we're splitting it up a little bit different today. Can you guys hear me? It's awfully quiet. Okay.
You can't hear my dog snoring in the background? Sorry, Lisa.
No, I can't. Let me start this over. Hold on. Paul, will you manage the waiting room for me? It's hard for me to do both.
Yeah, sure. I'll let people in as they show up.
I'm getting a lot of Zoom errors. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, weird. All right. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. We're caffeinating entrepreneurs nationwide every single Wednesday morning. So those of you who are regulars know that our mission is to lower the barrier of access and create resources and connections for all new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the U.S. Our national and local mission is we work towards this mission through creating a consistent program for each 1 Million Cup presenter nationwide, while also highlighting the uniqueness and value proposition to our local startup community. There's a live shot of us when we were back at Fat Pipe in person. We hope to get there soon again. So this is the Southwest Community Region. You'll notice there's only one location in the entire state of New Mexico, but that's good for us because that enables us to encourage people across the state to come and join us every Wednesday morning. And now, because everyone's virtual via Zoom, we're actually getting presenters from across the nation, which is really cool, like our presenter this morning you'll learn more about soon. Our key pillars, this is important. We give presentations, not pitches. And when we coach our presenters, we actually ask them to tell their story. We're looking to create authentic connections. It's not a networking event. We're run for the community, by the community, and we strive to be radically and intentionally inclusive. It's easy to apply to present. We'd love for more people to apply, and we'd love for you to pass on the word. All you have to do is go to 1millioncups.com/Albuquerque. Fill out a form. We'll assign you a coach. We'll get you ready for your presentation. It's really easy. It's 6 minutes. Anybody can do it. Here's just a snapshot of our volunteer organizing team. We've got Paul Sauter, myself, Eric Renz-Whitmore's here with us this morning. Missing this morning is Bobsy, Sonia, and Charles. They all had other things to do this morning, so we're holding the fort for them. Our sponsors, Fat Pipe ABQ, that's the co-working space I run. I'm here every Wednesday morning running the Zoom via our great internet. We've got Loza and Loza, intellectual property attorneys. More Than Organized, Miriam brings our creamer when we're in person. Jason Collins Photography does our snapshots, and you'll even see him doing snapshots via Zoom and putting them on Facebook. And then Noventum Custom Software does our donuts. All righty. So that's it this morning. Eric, I believe you coached our presenter this morning.
Yes, I sure did. I wasn't sure if we were doing the intros first, the welcomes, the first couple folks.
Sure. Do we have
So
anybody new here
I'm a
today?
little bit off.
No worries.
Yeah, do we have anybody new here this morning for the first time?
Alan, I'm not sure I recognize you. Would you be willing to unmute yourself and introduce yourself to our community? Yeah, Fallon Bader.
I thought you said my name. I wasn't sure.
Welcome.
Welcome. Hi, everyone. My name is Fallon. I am the business owner of the Sprouting Kitchen, which is a business we started hosting cooking classes outside on local on local farms a few years ago. And now we've moved everything to the virtual space. And I'm moving into some more fun virtual stuff for the next couple months. So
We recognize you, Fallon. You've presented before.
Yeah, I presented like right before the pandemic last year.
Yeah, that's crazy. Welcome back. We're so glad to see you. Maybe you'll have to present and give us an update on how your business has shifted with the pandemic and how you teach people how to cook. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be.
Anybody else like to introduce themselves? Debbie Kruzik, how about you? Don't recognize your name.
Oh, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Sure.
Sorry, I can't show my video because I'm tied to another one I'm put on hold. So, but good morning, everyone. I have a technology platform called techin.com, and I was a presenter, gosh, probably 3-4 years ago. And so nice to see you all.
Awesome. Thank you. So just a couple things. You're welcome to introduce yourself in the chat. Please give us contact information. Tell us who you are, who you work with, or what your business is. Phil, I know that you had an ask this morning. We're going to open up asks right after our presenters. So if you'll just stand by, we'll let you ask the community for the needs that you have for your and Annie's business. So we'll do that in just a minute if it's okay with you, Phil. All right, Eric, go for it.
All righty. So really excited this morning. So as Lisa mentioned, one of the things that's typically we work with local businesses from Albuquerque or throughout New Mexico, but one of the things that's happened with COVID and most of these events being online is we've heard from a lot of great businesses from around the country. So I'm particularly excited because we don't always hear from startups. We do hear from some high growth companies, but we typically do a mix here in New Mexico of even, Main Street and traditional business to the high growth businesses. So seeing something that's in the app world is something that was pretty exciting to me. So I'd like to welcome Jen Appy. Let's see, Jen is, she's an entrepreneur. She's the CEO of, Innovate Strategy Group. And we want to welcome her to 1 Million Cups. And let's get ready to share your deck, please.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eric. And thank you to the community for hosting me here today. It really is a privilege to be able to come in and speak with you. We enjoy hearing from other small business owners, other entrepreneurs. We get a lot of really great feedback on what we're doing. And so we appreciate being able to be here today. My company is Milestonia. I'm the CEO and co-founder, and we're passionate about helping small businesses succeed. And mostly it's because we are a small business. And when we developed Milestonia, we were a small business in need of a solution. We needed something to help us keep aligned on the goals that mattered, to keep the communication open in terms of how we were achieving our goals. And we wanted something that kind of made work fun. So we came up with Milestonia. And when the pandemic hit, we realized that we were able to adjust to remote work, like 100% remote work, because we already had a culture of winning together using Milestonia as the platform. So we thought that other companies would be able to appreciate this as well. So I'm here today to get your feedback on our story and find out if you think there's anyone who'd be interested in Milestonia and why and how we reach them. So this was us before we developed Milestonia. Sticky notes, PowerPoints, spreadsheets, just trying to keep everyone on the same page. And it was really hard to make it fun. We also heard that 31% of employees are engaged at work, which means that 69% aren't. And we thought, gosh, there's got to be a better way to solve this problem for ourselves and to also do it in a way that's fun. And we felt that the urgency was there because 90% of companies do not achieve their goals. And we also heard that 50% of small businesses fail due to cash flow. And we just wanted to make sure that we gave small businesses like ourselves every chance of succeeding by helping increase focus on goals and making it fun and engaging teams. So what we came up with was 5 steps to an accountability culture, starting with creating clarity about the goals that matter. What is the North Star of the company? Where are they trying to go? How is everybody going to help get the company there over the next 30 to 90 days? And really making that clear. And then how do we communicate with each other about these goals, about the progress against these goals? How do we articulate blockers, and how do we, coordinate our efforts so that we're not stepping all over each other, that we're all working in lockstep? And then how do we make this transparent so that everyone sees what's going on and builds trust, which builds trust in the team, because, we're not hiding everything. Everyone can see what's happening, and it's something that we can all work together to make sure that we achieve success. And then how can we create a situation where there's some social accountability? No one wants to be seen as a slacker, but this way everybody can see what's going on, who's achieving what, and it creates some social accountability for the team. And then finally, winning together. How do we make it fun? How do we make it so that everybody is acknowledged for their individual contributions, but yet we win as a team? Because in business, that is the way that success is achieved. So we came up with these 5 steps to an accountability culture and put it all into a goal management software platform that's simple, easy to use, affordable, all in one, designed for small teams, and most of all, fun. This is what it looks like when a team is using Milestonia and doing a weekly check-in meeting. So you can see the dashboard to the right, which is from Milestonia. You can see the completed progress circles. The team is celebrating what everybody has accomplished for the week, the points that everyone has earned for the accomplishments that they've contributed, and then finally the rewards that everyone's earned as a team. And that's pretty important to us, that the rewards are team-based, they're not individual, because we believe that that's what makes the whole process a lot more fun. We'd like to say that we're in the business of engaging future-ready teams, but doing it in a really fun way. So when you log in, there's a fun welcome GIF. We have badges. We have leaderboards. We have gifts for completing progress against goals, completing goals, and also a very clear dashboard. But most of all, it's fun. So this is kind of the schematic of what we're really offering. So at the heart is the empowered team member who has a goal management platform, goal management team engagement platform, to enter in their goals and report progress against them. We also are working to put in goal progress coaching and career upskilling coaching where it's appropriate. And then to onboard companies, we help them with these processes that create an accountability culture. So we help them with the clarity, talking about processes around communication with the weekly check-in meetings, and then how to implement for success. And then we also work with an ecosystem of executive coaches, courses, performance HR tools, and rewards and recognition tools as appropriate. But what we offer at the heart is a goal management platform, which is $5 to $10 per user per month. So a Harvard Business Review study noted that high engagement leads to higher productivity in sales, and we've seen that for ourselves with Milestonia companies and us before we offered it to other companies. So we believe that this is a big opportunity because there's 7 million companies just in the US that have fewer than 100 employees. 10% of them make over $1 million a year and can afford to subscribe to a software platform, which turned out to be about a $2 billion market. As we mentioned before, 69% of employees need team engagement, and a way to and companies need a way to retain those employees. And so when you factor in the increase in retention, the increase in productivity, as well as the potential for top line growth, you're looking at a 2 to 3 digit ROI, which we believe is significant. So we'd like to explain Milestonia as an affordable tech stack for the small company. Larger companies can afford consultants. They have an HR department, they have an IT department to be able to onboard their teams into more expensive enterprise tools. We looked at those. We felt that they were too expensive, too cumbersome to implement, and needed something simpler. So the simplicity is really the attraction to Milestonia. There's a little bit of functionality to be able to track leads like a CRM, to be able to track projects like a project management tool, and to be able to report performance at the end of the quarter based on the goals that have been achieved. And finally, the rewards and recognition are all baked in and automated for you. So no longer managing things in a spreadsheet. Our story is best told in the eyes of our customers. So Sam had a company whose sales were declining 30% year over year. He rallied the team around Milestonia, got them all aligned on what they needed to do to hit their North Star goal. And within a year was able to achieve 40% year over year revenue growth with increased focus. He was able to cut back on expenses and overall experience a positive impact on the bottom line. Similarly, James had an agency that was growing well, but he wanted to grow even more, was able to achieve 30% year-over-year revenue growth with a modest increase in expenses and positive impact to the bottom line. So we like to say that we're in the business of delivering better business outcomes for small companies. We're really proud of what team members say. They talk about the greater productivity that they feel, as well as the fact that the process makes things fun. We've also gotten a little bit of traction with executive coaches and consultants who are in the business of being accountability partners for their clients. They feel that Milestonia helps create better clarity for their clients, and even families say the same thing, creates clarity and also a frictionless process for communicating expectations with their teams. We've started to conduct free events and workshops in order to get companies into the frame of mind of talking about accountability cultures, which then leads to a conversation about Milestonia. Many of these topics have come up from other 1 Million Cups groups where they've brainstormed on the types of topics that they would be interested in engaging in that would lead to a conversation about Milestonia. My favorites are coming out of COVID, effective hybrid teams, and engaging a future-ready Gen Z team. So now my ask of the community is, what do you think of our story? Who do you think would be interested and why? And how do we reach them? And if there's anybody who would like to work with us, or if you want to kick the tires on Milestonia and give us a try, we are onboarding companies for free through the end of this month. Thank you.
I'll put that on myself, take myself off mute. Thanks so much, Jen. Let's see, I'm not sure, we might want to bring the slide back up a couple times, but I'll ask folks, yeah, we don't need to do it right now. I like to see folks' faces too. So I'll ask folks, if you've got a question, go ahead and please add that to the chat. Let's see. And a couple of questions that I had just to kick things off. So you were using this as an internal tool before launching it. I have a couple different questions about that. Yeah. Maybe I'll just ask them both simultaneously. You can take them whatever order. One, I'm curious about how, what was it you learned about the team and about the tool as you implemented it internally? And the other question is, what was it that told you and the group that you wanted to launch this as a product itself? What was it that took it from an internal tool to something that is for sale?
Yeah, I'll take the second question first. We had achieved a culture. So after building Milestonia and using it for ourselves for a year, we felt that we had created a culture that included remote workers. So our team was based in Arizona, but I'm in the Bay Area, and we had people in New York and Oregon. And so Milestonia really kept everybody on the same page. And it was the one go-to spot where everyone could see the progress that everyone was making toward their goals. And so because we'd achieved this culture, when we went remote, when the pandemic hit, it was seamless. We already had a process and we already had a culture that would easily transition to remote work. So that's when we decided that we would commercialize it in order to be able to help other small businesses succeed. What we learned along the way when we were building it was that we really needed to give people ways to engage with each other. So the first thing that we did was we just made it a prettier spreadsheet, right? We'd been managing everything in a spreadsheet. We made the dashboard pretty, and we gave people the ability to update their goals in a way that was easier than a spreadsheet. So that was initially where we started. And then as we were using it, we realized that having more of the communication between people was really important. So we implemented a commenting reaction notification feature where we can send each other emojis and GIFs. We can give everyone high fives for completing what they're doing. But the other hidden benefit of putting that in was when there were blockages or when there needed to be cross-team collaboration, we could really note that in everyone's goals. Hey, you need to bring Robbie into the loop, or Erica and I are working on this. Just wanted to let you know, or I can't move forward until I get the list from Lisa. So we were able to provide in the platform this ability to communicate about the goals. I will say up front, it's not meant to replace an Asana and a Trello if you're using it in a very robust way. But for many small companies, they need an Asana or Trello, but they don't need the depth. And so we can do a lightweight version of Asana and Trello already in Milestonia. And the cherry on top is the fact that we can automate that earning of rewards and have that dashboard that everyone can use in that weekly meeting.
Sounds good. We had a couple of questions. We'll ask John if you can get on camera, ask your question. John Bell?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm actually on camera. But Jen, that was great. Thank you so much for walking us through it. I poked around a little bit last night in anticipation of this meeting. So
You're good.
yeah, no, it's great. I'm a digital marketer, essentially, to kind of cut it short. From many years in the enterprise space, which means I've worked for big ass companies, which are not your target. So however, I will say that employee engagement is very much an enterprise idea. At Travelers, we subscribe to Gallup. We were measured twice a year. We use a lot of the Gallup benchmarking to help, improve engagement overall. And big believers in the commercial outcomes of that, not just the softer measures. That being said, what is your ideal target in terms of employee size? You say small business and small and micro businesses, this is kind of well below their radar of what they're capable of dealing with. So I'm just curious, do you have a target on employee size?
So we find that between 5 and 50 for a couple of reasons. One is if a company gets to about 5 to 10 employees, that's when they're starting to feel the pain of alignment and engagement. So any smaller than that, they can probably manage things in a spreadsheet or Google Docs or daily stand-ups, and it would be fine. On the high end, it's because once you get above 40 or 50 employees, and it depends on the type of company, sometimes 30 is kind of hitting the maximum. What happens is, because transparency was a really big part of our philosophy, that everyone should see everything that was going on, that was the way to build trust within the organization. When you get too many employees with 10 goals each, it just gets to be really unwieldy, right? It's just, so it's really kind of a practical thing. We don't have the enterprise model for us. If we were to go into enterprise, would be to have the teams and teams ladder up to a corporate entity and have that all within the platform. We don't have that yet. It could be part of our future roadmap. So for now, we're a better fit with smaller companies for whom, when you see everyone's goals, it's not too overwhelming.
Yeah. So I'll just back one quick follow-up, and I won't dominate the questions here because people are really engaged in your presentation, which is spectacular. So you kind of did this in your presentation, which I thought was great, where you actually refer back to some of the Gallup data, as to the hard metrics as to how engagement actually hits a bottom line, and more productive sales organization or whatever. I'm curious, can you tap into more of that Gallup IP, which this is their business, right? To some extent, I'm not expecting you to subscribe to them, but can you tap into more of their IP in order to benchmark customers, and then show progress over time, not just to show kind of broad improvements, people are more engaged, so that they can get a sense of like, I am moving towards those things that drive, revenue and employee retention and whatever the hard metrics are.
Yes, that's a really good idea. Right now, we do it through NPS surveys. So we survey all of our beta companies right now, and but it's anecdotal, right? They're telling us, we're achieving more, we're getting more. We believe that this is attributed to our better focus on the bottom line. That's how we got the stats that we have, is that was self-reported by the companies. So I think it's a really great idea to work with a Gallup or some independent agency in order to do more industry benchmarking, companies with and without Milestonia. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'll surrender to the rest of the group here.
Great questions, John, as always. Thank you so much. Miriam, you had a question.
Yeah, a couple things. First, I love the concept and including rewards in the platform. I am a professional organizer and coach, and I took a long time to figure out how to use Trello in an appropriate way, and a tool like this would have helped me a lot earlier. So I understand the pain of those small businesses trying to find the right tool that has enough of the bells and whistles. And the fact that you are including the rewards to close that feedback loop is so key. And I think most companies don't understand it, or they give it lip service, but don't really follow through on it. And it's the small celebrations along the way that get the biggest results, not the you win a car if you reach this giant milestone kind of rewards. So that's great. I also, now I can't remember my other question. COVID brain, maybe?
Well, I would love to connect with you offline. Yeah. Since you're a coach, we're finding that is kind of a flip of the model that we hadn't thought about when we initially went out. We thought, oh, SaaS software, people adopt it, but we're finding that coaches that whose business is to keep their clients accountable, that's where we're finding more urgency and better adoption. So I would love to talk with you further, because it seems like, you've lived through the pain of not having a tool. So would love to give you a tool and see how that works.
Yeah. Also, I do remember my question now. So the other pain point I find in my clients is I will recommend a tool, and the thought of onboarding and what do they need to have in place in the culture already to make it work. Is that where you guys are providing the coaching to get them prepared to use the tool in an effective way? Because that's where the disconnect happens. They get a tool, they get all excited, and 3 weeks later they've abandoned it because they didn't do all the mindset prep work on it.
And that was our first 6 months. We went out with the naive assumption that all companies were like us, that they knew what they wanted in an accountability culture, and it was just a matter of finding the right tool. And that was not the case. So we came up with a 3-step process of discovery, roadmap, and implementation, which is our way of understanding what are the goals that you're trying to achieve. And now, what processes do you have in place that we can build on in order to implement this tool in a successful way? Because you're absolutely right. If you're not having that weekly check-in meeting to celebrate successes, it doesn't matter how well you've set up the tool. Everyone has abandoned it within a month. So we did learn that pretty quickly. So, and I would say that we're still trying to fine tune our approach, but now we kind of have the structure that we know we need to follow. Now we're trying to fine tune our approach within that.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you. That's great. Annie, you had a question.
So let me unmute here. So hang on. So Jen, let me ask you a question. This is a software as a service, correct?
It is.
Okay. So from an integration perspective, so if you were to bring in this tool at an organization, can you integrate it with the existing tool sets that they have for other technology platforms, i.e. Project management tools and those sorts of things? So what is the back-end platform to this? It's server-based, that you can integrate with existing tools already. So if they have other tools in place already, you can integrate that as an add-on piece, correct? Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, so we're cloud-based and
Okay.
we use Zapier in order to be able, we've opened up our API to Zapier and we use Zapier to build the connections.
To build the connection. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
we're in the early processes of understanding people's needs for integrations, and we've actually built some Zaps for companies. We're doing it one-on-one right now just to understand what people need. And in the future, I mean, we should be able to publish a standard set of Zaps for people just to be able to download and use.
to be able to integrate that and be able to make that another, so it's not another separate piece that they have to, they have to add on, or they have to, okay, here's another piece that's a separate thing from something else that they already have. So that the transparency for their projects, and it's all part of, it's a seamless integration is sort of what I'm asking here. Okay, so that being said, it's not another piece that they have to maintain or have to figure out, if you will, right? It's all.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're trying to take the burden off the company by figuring it out for them and building those Zaps. You know, in the future, if we have published Zaps, it will make it easier. But right now, we're taking on the burden.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's not another thing that they have to maintain, if you will.
Right.
Right. From that perspective. So it's all visible to their projects, and they could be part of their dashboard and
Yep.
and all of that. And there's not another thing they have to maintain, because a lot of times if that's burdensome for them, a lot of times it gets forgotten, and then all of a sudden it drops off the radar.
Too many priorities. Yep.
Right.
Gotcha.
Too many things to maintain, and it's one of those things. It falls off the cliff, if you will. I hate to say it that way, but that's tends to be what happens with our projects, and it becomes cumbersome at that point.
Yeah.
And headache, and right.
And Annie, if you have real use cases that you would love to give Milestonia a try, and we can build some of these apps with you,
Right.
Happy to do that. It's really good for us to see different ways that people want to do those integrations. We're learning in that process.
Right. It's a learning. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Love it. This is great. And TJ, you've got the last audience question.
I feel special. Hello, Jen. Awesome presentation. And may I just say, you got the best Zoom setup I've seen in a long time too. So kudos.
I have to credit my gamer son and his friend who
Oh,
knew
yeah,
how to
they
set
know.
this up.
Well, if you got gamer son, you got LED lighting somewhere too. So,
yeah.
So kind of looking to the future and growth for the company. And I'm not sure, how many customers you have right now and stuff, but it seems to me taking like kind of that best in the world position for you, you would need to and want to start looking at anonymized data across customers, looking at goals which are effective, goals which are not, and being kind of using data that nobody else has essentially to improve within the platform, not through services anymore, improve the way your customers are then setting goals, right? So what's the vision there in terms of how services become part of the platform as you gain insights, data, all that good stuff?
That is an excellent question. You must come from the SaaS software world.
Yeah, that's me.
That's a really good question. So our vision and mission has always been to help team members be better team members and leaders be better leaders, and to help and enable their dreams of what they want to do with their companies. So, and we're a small business, so we've always been focused on the needs of that small business, both team and leader. So our thoughts along the lines of coaching. So when I mentioned, coaching on the check-in, career upskilling, that was our baby steps into how do we use what we know about the user and what they're doing and help them do better. So one of the big pain points that we encountered early on is in the check-in process, okay, so let's say the goal has been defined and they're asked to check on it weekly. Some people had no idea what to say or what to do or even how to start. And so we felt that, you know, if we were doing this one-on-one, we would ask some leading questions. You know, what do you think in terms of how to get started? What help do you need? Who do you need help from? Or if they're trying to report progress, how did you do this week? What were you able to accomplish? Were there any blockers? Do you need help from anyone? So thinking about that one-on-one coaching, we wanted to put in those questions. So we've built in some of those questions. Where we want to go from there is based on how people are feeling. So you know, culture questions. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling about your job? You know, there's some basic culture questions that some other tools ask. And so we can take those culture questions and we can imbue it into the coaching process so that we're being sensitive to where the individual is when we're having that coaching process. That's like, we're baby steps into that process, but that is where we see the technology going. And we're in conversations with a couple of people who do AI and coaching apps, and they might be able to white label and plug their solutions into our tool. Really good question, though. I mean, that is what's going to help keep us competitive in the future. Absolutely.
Well, I think, let's see. So first of all, thank
I think Eric has a spotty internet connection this morning.
Oh, no, I hope it's not the weather.
We're all having problems today. Yeah. Eric, we've lost you, buddy. You're like.
Oh no. Well, I will mention that
questions.
There he is.
Jen, if it's possible, can you go ahead and share your last?
I can absolutely do that.
Did you lose me?
Yeah, we're losing you, Eric. You're kind of in and out.
Yeah.
I think I'm back. I hope I'm back.
Yeah,
For
you're back.
a minute or two. So, thanks. So you've got the last slide up. We've got two questions if they haven't been asked yet. The easy one, the easy-ish one is red or green, which is the state question for New Mexico. And it refers to chili.
Oh no. And you know what? You prepared me with this and I forgot.
Well, you know, do you like hot food? If and when, or I'll put it this way, when you visit Albuquerque, will you go for green chili or red chili? You know, you can get it on the side. You know,
I probably green chili. I think green chili is milder, right?
It's a whole longer conversation, but that's a great answer. I support green chili. The other question, and you've got some of these things up on the slide, but if there's one thing that our community, that our group here can do for you and your company, what can we do to help your business move forward?
Yeah. So if you're interested in what we do and would love to give this a try, I would love to talk with you because we're learning all kinds of interesting things from anybody who test drives Milestonia, at least getting feedback on our onboarding processes and some of our engagement emails. That's been super, super helpful. So if you're interested, would love to engage with you further. I did put my information into the chat. And you can also just go to this URL to sign up for a free account, and then we can set up a demo so that we can chat further about your needs. But I think that this slide, actually, if I were to go back, can I go back? Oh, I guess I can't go back. We do free events and workshops, and if there are topics that you think would engage people in a conversation about Milestonia, I would love to hear your ideas on topics that we could be hosting or chatting about or doing presentations on.
Well, thank you again. How about a round of applause for our, virtual and, for those of us on camera. Thanks so much, Jen. Really, really helpful. Great presentation this morning. I've got a handful of different events that I will highlight. Tried to send them out through a couple different channels this week, so hopefully you got some of those. But I'll just pull up a couple that could be of interest. We've got, let's see, I'll go with big event happening this Friday, which is the Believe in New Mexico Social Entrepreneurship and Impact Event impact investing event that's coming from University of New Mexico Anderson School, but also John Mertz and Santa Fe Innovates is involved with that. Quite a few other partners, really looking at how do we grow the social entrepreneurship scene here in New Mexico. There's an event that Lisa mentioned last week. Fat Pipe has a cybersecurity event coming up next Wednesday, and that's from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Cybersecurity, how was I hacked, and what should I do now? So if you haven't been hacked yet, it's good to kind of walk through what that experience is like, so you know a little bit more about how to be prepared. So that's coming from Lisa and Fat Pipe next week. Big fans of Kick-Ass Entrepreneurs. They got their next Entrepreneur Storytime next Thursday. And let's see, actually, I'll mention that Activate NM, they've got their startup office hours are the third Thursdays. We just missed it last week, but the third Thursdays of each month, they've got startup office hours. And they also have, and John alluded to this a little bit earlier, there's a Next Gen Digital Marketer Certificate that's launching a new class cohort on April 19th. And that's also with C&M Ingenuity. That's pretty much all I've got for now. And I would hand it off to Paul.
Hi. So we're going to do something we haven't done in a while, which is an ask. So it was a lot of fun when we were meeting in person, and you could kind of bump into each other and say, you know, this is something that I need, and I just don't know where to get started. So we had one person seed this event by they have an ask today, but I want you to think about, you know, maybe doing a 1-minute pitch for something that you need that's going to help you get unstuck and move forward and achieve some new goals. So I think Phil's going to start it off, right? Because you were the one that started.
All right. Thanks, Paul. So I've got actually two asks for everybody today. Good morning and enjoying the good weather we got. First one is I'm working with a professor and some students at University of New Mexico, and we need to put together a video pitch by Monday night, the latest. And I'm very void in doing videos. We have the pitch written, and we have to do it on video. So we'd like, if anybody knows, if anybody can help us with some video editing equipment or give us some backdrops, we can give you some background to the product. So we can put together a 90-second video. That's it, 90 seconds, no more. And so let me know today, and I can get the ball rolling immediately so we can get that done. And the second request is a much longer term one. And before you suggest Charles Garrison, I've already chatted with Charles last night and yesterday. We're looking for a video marketing company that will take on quite a big project. And it's to do with Annie's core community housing and the National Science Foundation that we're working with. We want to put together a video of how you virtually wander through a community that we're building in Los Lunas, over 30 acres. So it's going to be quite an extensive project. We hopefully will have the funding from the National Science Foundation for that. But I would imagine we'd be looking something like 3D virtual integration, maybe with VR or AR, even AR. So if anybody has any ideas of any video marketing companies with that extensive capability, I need to know about that as well.
So just in terms of fast video production, there is a whole green screen room and video production facility at West. Have you reached out to them?
At where, Paul? Sorry?
West, WESST, I guess it is. So they presented actually a couple years ago on the facility that's there. They have everything, and it's often used as a training facility for students. So I would reach out to them, and if anyone here knows the contact information to get the ball rolling at West,
yeah, that would be for the 90-second pitch.
The 90-second video pitch, yes.
Okay.
I can give you, if TJ may be faster than I, but I can give you Mark Gilboard's contact information. He works at West, and I've seen that facility that Paul's talking about, and I also know that the terms are very good and favorable, if you will, for leveraging it. And if it's basically just you guys on camera doing the pitch, and then needing to edit it down into something sharp, that was a great suggestion, Paul. But I'll throw it in there.
Yeah, we kind of have the ability. We're up against, I think, 7 other competitors, and there's a nice few $1,000 prize there, and I'd like to see if we can try and grab that.
Yeah, please grab it.
Let me ask you a question. Would Brad be a contact from West? Because I've got Brad as a contact as well. Guys,
Yeah, Brad Krausen can help you.
right, from Rio Rancho, because I mean, Brad and I are already in touch with each other.
Yeah,
So,
he can help you get connected with their video studio.
okay, so Phil, you and I need to be in touch because I'm already in touch with Brad, so I can reach out to him as
Okay,
well.
cool.
All right.
Anyone else with an ask? Okay, I'm going to give you 3. 1, 2, 3. I have a reverse. Oh, good. Go ahead.
Here you go. As many of you know, Dan Heron was a senior program manager for Activate New Mexico, which many on the call mentor for or have participated in through events we do under that umbrella and things like that. It's really about building the community, as 1 Million Cups is. So very synergistic. We are looking for Dan's replacement because he joined a startup, which I think is a good thing for positions like this. And I'll just point out on that job description I posted in, it's those bottom 4 or 5 bullets where we're really looking for somebody who thinks a bit differently, comes from a different background. So we're really open on this one to welcoming somebody who can take the good work that's been done and grow it. I think there's a lot of work that has been done that this person will be able to come into and just carry on, but also add their own signature and their own background, all that good stuff. So excited, lots of interest, and hope some of you are interested or know somebody who's interested to join the team over here and really be a community person that's going to welcome and collaborate both internally and externally at C&M Ingenuity. Thank you.
All right, that sounds great. And with that, I guess I'm going to kick it back to Lisa, and we'll do breakout rooms. So I'm doing COVID-19 as usual. And what else we got? Eric.
Well, yeah, well, so I've got to mention, I know Jen, actually, she had a pretty tight timeline. So I don't think it's going to make a ton of sense for her to be in there for like 2 minutes. So I don't know. I think we just probably want to say goodbye right now. Is that better, Jen, or any? Okay.
Yeah, I just
we'll
want
have
to say thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your community today. You guys asked some really great questions, and I do hope that you connect with me so that I can learn more from your experiences, and maybe if you want to try Milestonia, that you can check it out and give us feedback. But I from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for your allowing me to be here today.
Thank you, Jen. We appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks
take care.
so much again.
Be safe.
And I'll stay in like the general.
You'll stay in the general.
I'll stay in the general room. If we're starting to go into COVID-19, I'll just stay in the main room, maybe. Or.
All righty. So I'll go ahead and open up the rooms. It looks like Jason and Paul are going right away to the COVID room. So as soon as I open rooms, those of you who have been pre-assigned will just go off. Let's see if there's anybody else in chat who has a request. Alan, I'll send you to COVID. You guys should be able to move around. So thanks for